Hello, welcome to Sephra's World. My name is Sephra, and this is my world. And today we are just going to touch a little bit upon the whole Mercury turns retrograde today. So, what the heck does that mean? Well, chances are, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you've heard me talk about this before. I do have other Mercury retrograde videos on here, but I know also the way my channel is set up, it's a nightmare to wade through everything. So here's a nice fresh one for you. Mercury retrograde happens about 3 times a year, and what it means is that the planet Mercury isn't doing its regular thing. It's not exactly turning backwards, but it's kind of just not moving forwards. So when this happens, us human being types tend to run into some conflicts. Now, not all of us do, and not all of us do every time there's a Mercury retrograde. However, I thought I'd make a little video this month because this month does have a lot of huge planetary situations happening. You know, we just had an eclipse last week. We have another eclipse coming next week. We have 2 new moons this month. We already had the first new moon, which was at the same time as the eclipse. And then the next new moon is on the last day of this month. However, with Mercury retrograde, in between all this stuff, it will probably be a more powerful situation than sometimes it is or isn't. Now, Mercury retrograde may or may not affect you, but it is a wonderful scapegoat to blame Mercury when things screw up. As we know, we all like our excuses for when things aren't working our way. So Mercury is the planet of communication. So basically, when Mercury goes retrograde, a lot of us experience situations where communication is broken. There may be miscommunication between you, loved ones, bosses, children, parents, relatives, anyone in the universe. And we all are affected by this, and we're all affected in different ways. So this is just a really good time for the next 3 weeks to just double check everything, especially since we're in the summer months and a lot of people are planning to go on vacation and such, or at least summer months here in Ontario where I am. Of course, people watch these videos from all around the world, so it may not be summer for you. But however, if you're traveling, certainly double, triple check your itinerary. If you're starting new jobs, signing new contracts, all these things, just double, triple check. You have court cases, double check everything's in order. You got all the information you need. It's just all that stuff. Check your itinerary is what you think it is. Check your plane tickets are going to, are you going, let's say you're going to Portland. Is it Oregon or Maine? And do you have the right one on your ticket, right? Just all these kinds of annoyances. And for the most part, it's minor annoyances, but sometimes, like if you're taking the plane to the wrong place, like that's huge, right? And for some people, they shine during a Mercury retrograde because of how the planets were aligned in their birth charts. And so some of these people, they really thrive and this is their best time and they get a lot of stuff done. Then other people, everything falls apart during a Mercury retrograde. And for the rest of us, it's just kind of a handy, if something, oh, I'm late, Mercury's retrograde, the clock didn't work, or, we can use it as an excuse. However, this is a thing, and just branching off a little from Mercury retrograde with all the earthquakes happening in California. That's not Mercury retrograde, but I have been reading people pointing out things like where the moon was and how specifically it was in the sky, and that may have affected how these earthquakes were, and they were indicating patterns from other major earthquakes over the last 100 years or so, and how the planets had been in a certain place, and this keeps happening. But anyways, I wish everyone in California and all the way up to BC, apparently, I hope you're all safe. I know there's going to be aftershocks for what, a year, they said. Anyways, I'm happy to be over here in Ontario where we have, right now we're just finishing a heat wave, but it's not a heat wave like they had in France. It was pretty mild compared to last year. However, everyone, we all just need to make sure we drink lots of water, that if we're in areas where there's earthquakes or tornadoes or hurricanes and all these sorts of things, that we always have an extra stash of water, food, and supplies that will keep us going in case there's power outages and so on. We really do rely a lot on technology in these modern times, 2019. I mean, here I am on YouTube. This is technology, this is Mercury. And so sometimes we have to prepare for times where technology may not be working. I'm not saying this is going to happen during our Mercury retrograde, but of course, when there's earthquakes and storms and floods and so on, it can happen anywhere at any time, and the planet does seem to be acting up a little more than usual. So just be prepared. Just protect yourself and protect your family. Keep extra jugs of water around, blankets and safety supplies, paper products, whatever it is you need to get through times when technology isn't working. So stock up on batteries and make sure those flashlights and candles are all stocked up. It's always good to have emergency candles for anytime power goes out, 'cause at least you can see. So even if you have flashlights with batteries, batteries run out eventually too, right? Anyways, not trying to scare anyone, just trying to point out some of the Mercury retrograde situations. And like I said, it's a very powerful month this month. And so I hope you're all getting a lot of work done and just, double, triple check everything over the next while. Okay, have a great day. Bye.